mic on the Zoom call during my games.
Yep. You won't have to do anything. I'll just
Should I talk out loud
say
during the
it.
games or just be quiet?
You should maximize your performance, which I think is probably just to be quiet.
Okay.
But do whatever feels good to you.
Sometimes I talk out loud,
Then
even
do
to
that.
myself,
Then
but
do that.
not a lot. I'll try
That's
to
fine.
pretend I'm not even on stream. And
Right. You can just
I have.
Yeah, you can just ignore everything, pretend whatever you want while you play, do your normal routine, and it's just going to be a chance for us to look in on your routine
Yeah,
for today.
I'm not even gonna have Twitch open like on any device, so I
Yeah.
can't be farming channel points.
So you can't even farm any points on yourself. Yeah,
It's fine.
that is
Um,
fine. All right. So,
there's not
folks,
much that much for today, but
what's that?
I can't really entertain too much today except how I play.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because I Do you think people think Jesse is like totally being 100% himself, or do they realize he's also entertaining?
Jesse is that entertaining in real life.
So I wonder what's the truth about me then.
That's just Jesse. He's actually that fun to be around.
Wow, that's fun. He seems like he's kind of a less PC version of me. But obviously I can be mature and stuff, but a lot of times people say when I need to be, I can be like a big kid.
Yeah. Jesse is
So,
definitely not PC. I've never heard somebody complain about how PC he is. That's not, that's never been a complaint. Um, all
well,
right.
Tesla looks up to him, so
Yeah. All right, folks. So Jesse will be on as well today, since we're speaking of him, in 57 minutes. He will have his show with Lafong Hua, a boot camp on pre-moving. I don't know how many times Jesse's going to try and learn pre-moving before he actually learns it. But anyway, he's got a lesson on pre-moving coming up today with Lafong Hua. That'll be in 57 minutes. But before that, we're just popping on to show you guys a little something a little bit different. And this is the road to 1400. And by now, probably everybody watching knows MrCharlieSilva, so I don't need to introduce you, Charlie. But I will just clarify for everybody what the idea or the goal is here. Wait, I'm getting some fuzzy sound. Hang on.
my music shut
And
off.
then it
I
stopped, and then I talked. Does it start again? No, okay. So Charlie's been playing for almost 1 year, and he set a goal of making 1400 at the end of the year. I think basically because of me.
Yeah.
Um, when people come into the stream for the first time, there's like a couple questions that people tend to ask, right? And the last thing's like, can I become a GM this year? Or am I too old to become whatever their goal is, right? Master or GM or something like that. Or what's a good rating to have after 6 months or 3 months or whatever they're up to? There is something wrong with my sound. So anyway, Charlie asked early on, I think, what would be a good rating to have after like a year of chess work, and I said 1400, and he's been aiming for it ever since. You can let us know if I'm misrepresenting this.
Talking to me?
Yeah, is that wrong or?
Basically what you said, and then for a while, like just like anybody that obsesses and spends a lot of time on it, I was basically growing 100 rating points a month, and then all of a sudden, right around the New Year's, I hit like a plateau where it exponentially got so much harder, and I had to reorganize myself. And then I found what kept working best is if I'm like, oh, well, I'm losing now. Let's try a new opening, or let's try to learn something new. And I think that sparked learning like new fundamentals or new ideas in chess, which helped me. And then I ended up kept growing and growing, and now here I am,
Yeah.
almost there. I got to the end of the month.
Yeah, so Charlie's got till the end of the month to make this 1400 goal. Um, and we'll get a sense today how close he is, and maybe do a couple more episodes over the course of May to see what it takes for him to get there. And
If
let's
you
see.
looked at my if you looked at my chart, my rapid growth chart, I think that's the coolest because it could see the lowest I ever went. What was in early September, like when my account first started, it was like 700 and something, and then it's just been like just a steady incline with a little bit of dips and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chess Latte was there actually on my first Chess Dojo stream on Branch to Branch. So we've been in it together back when I was Charlie Drama 18.
yeah,
And I changed it to Mr. Charlie Silva because I don't know. sounded cooler, I guess.
Yeah. So along the way, one of the intermediate goals was hitting 1200, right? That sort of like I'm a chess player title that we that we also.
Nation new.
Yeah. So yeah, now Charlie just hits XLAM new for other new people to help them out, but he's past that. And lately, what Charlie's been doing is he's been playing 2 rated games per day that he really focuses on. He's still playing tons of games to keep getting more experience, but he plays 2 games a day where he's really zoned in and where generally he's been doing well and his rating's been going up. Actually, Charlie, before you play, I'd love to show people one game you played yesterday, if that's okay with you.
Sure. It
I think
actually will help me remember. I can't see it because I don't have the Twitch open. I'm not farming channel points right now.
Okay, hang on.
But I know the game. I looked at it and tried to study to remember the opening I created.
Yeah, this game's really, really good. I believe that this game played by Charlie yesterday is quite likely the best game that I've ever seen of his. I haven't seen every single game you've played, but I've seen a lot of them.
Draw at 1900, so.
So here's this game from yesterday. It'll give you a sense of where he's at. I think his opponent was rated 1400, exactly Charlie's goal, and Charlie hit like 1370-ish with this game, 1376. So Charlie's playing a Nimzo Indian, which is a new addition to the repertoire.
Yes, the one I said I created that I didn't.
And you see white and black both fighting for the e4 square here, everybody, right? This bishop's restraining the knight, this bishop's restraining this knight, this bishop's trying to control it. And now Charlie starts setting up pawns on dark squares in the center, which makes sense with the dark square bishop's gone. Gains space over here. Sets up a pawn structure which Kostya calls like the bathtub, I think. This thing here.
I don't know that.
But
Literally,
I don't
I'm
know.
just.
Anyway, it's a pawn structure, very nice, good restraint of the whole center, good control. Then he comes into the outpost, trades that, no problem.
I'm visualizing the game kind of as you say it.
You see he's using all his pieces. He's got a solid structure, basically without weaknesses. All his pieces defended, no bad tactical elements except maybe like pawn on a7 and there's pawn on a3 for white. So you can see Charlie's got a layout that's very, very grandmasterly. And now he goes for a very aggressive kingside push, which his position can handle.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing that I liked about that game that I did was I rearranged my queen and then used my knight to replace the knight I had on the left side to do that whole diagonal knight thing. I kind of like from what this isn't necessarily true, but it seems like this Nimzo makes it so I can be like I know the concepts and then I can be creative to try to recreate the position and tactics that I see. So it feels like fun, but I doubt I get it every black game.
Yeah.
Most likely it's not there.
So here you've got Charlie mounting an attack on the king side. And white makes a mistake trying to bring this bishop to an outpost. If Charlie takes it, white opens up the d file and gets a passed pawn, but he just moves his bishop away from it, comes into d3, and now he's sort of in crushing position. He just throws these pawns at white. Some people really worry, like, once I throw my pawns down here at white, how exactly am I going to win? But that's too much effort to figure out exactly how it's going to work, right? You just have to know it's good to expand like that, and as they get closer, start calculating something. And look at this. Most people would try to explode it with g3, opening things up. Charlie actually very cleverly realizes white's so weak on the light squares, he can just go for h3. And cleans up the game with equal material on the board, white just resigning out of positional loss. So that's where he's at. And absolutely fantastic game.
That's where I am at that game. That doesn't happen every single time.
Right. It doesn't happen every single game. That's what he can do now. So, yeah, Charlie, go ahead and start your 2 games.
All right, so I'll control it all. You'll just find me.
I'm following you.
No, I don't want to watch this GM game. Sorry. I do 10-minute games, guys. Sorry. Increment to me adds something that I could I think the time ticking down and then try to use the time of getting somebody to flag, but then them adding stuff, to me it's just adding too much extra stuff. I'm not that smart, so 10 minutes is just kind of less to think about.
Boom, game on. I'm going to mute my mic so as not to distract Charlie. He's into the game. He's got black.
Yes, please be a Nimzo. Okay.
Like a kid in the candy shop with his Nimzo. All right.
Do I want to do D6 or do I want to do push the pawn to Fiend Shadow? It doesn't matter necessarily yet. Does it? They have nothing to push down there.
I know Dritman would play B6.
If they threaten my bishop, I take the knight.
All right.
Can't push down here yet. So here.
All right. So Charlie needs to know about this queen a4 check trick. That's dangerous. Because then you go knight c6 and d5 wins a piece. So I'm going to mention that to him later just so he knows about it.
Queen comes out. Castle.
That piece is just dangling. Let's see if Charlie knows he controls that square. I think he knows that's his square.
Two people hitting this. If I do this, the queen moves.
Sorry, Timothy Scott.
Oh, I didn't see that. I gotta add an attacker to it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it seems like he may not realize that he's up a piece. I think. Yeah. Defends the e4 square. Very good.
Oh, I was supposed to take the knight. Did I take that? No, I got it anyways. But I was supposed to take the knight if they castled. Did I do that?
His bishop's almost trapped.
I waited too long to take that knight. That was a mistake. On c3. Fudgicles. Oh, I locked my bishop in.
So he's in a completely winning position, but you can see that sometimes when people are winning, they don't realize they're winning, right?
Take there. He's just, it's told. Let me do something.
The bishop can actually survive on a5 for the time. It's very, very badly placed, but it can survive. But yeah, you can see that this game would be like a gimme if he realized he were up a piece and we're just like trading and remaining confident. Instead, he's burning a lot of time and worrying.
And he goes 2 up, but then I can... Saves it for a little while, I guess.
All right, he finds the right move. That's what he has to do. Very good.
That's usually a bishop. Oh, because he wants to attack this. He takes... but he can add another attacker on this. This isn't in the game. He might... Let me just get it out of the way now.
Bishop takes d3, wins a piece here.
Oh,
a terrible pre-move from white.
Here.
He could take here and then take here. This move was actually very bad because white could have taken this. Oh my god. Oh, I can't watch that move. Oh, Charlie, what are you doing? Hanging your pieces. Now he's going to hang his rook too.
I gotta develop. Yeah, I don't want to kick that knight and take it, because then the bishop will come and move me.
Oh my god, he doesn't seem to be like counting pieces at all.
No.
Like, he didn't notice when he was up a piece. He doesn't notice that he's lost a
I knew
piece.
that was going to happen. Oh, I do take. If I take,
Yikes.
he takes. Opens up his rook. If I push, it's not good. What do I do now? It's fine.
Man,
Ooh,
this
there's so
opponent
many
of his just
feisty
pre-moves
stuff in
every
this.
move. Surely Charlie can beat somebody who's just not even looking at their own moves
This
ever.
guy's moving so fast.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. Bring out a rook, kick the queen. The
Sugar
guy will
honey
hang
iced
something.
tea. And that defends h7. And this guy's moving so fast.
Yeah. Timothy Scott Puente's got somewhere to be, guys, and it's not chess.com.
h7. Let me reroute my bishop while I still can.
Yeah, you could have also just saved your bishop by taking the guy's pawn on a3.
Not bad.
I mean, just take it. Just take everything.
Holy moly.
Now, miraculously, Charlie's in a
If he
terrible
takes,
position.
no, that's not good. Don't do that. I'll take this.
It's a fine move. It's a fine move, actually. Chipping at the center, improving this bishop a little bit. Very fine move.
Why is he doing this? He's
Great move from Charlie.
I'm still in it. My position sucks. No, it feels like my defense isn't good. He moved there. He wants to clog this lane. If he wants to do that, what do I want to do? What do I want to do?
Knight g4 is playable. It makes white play g3, which is a small weakness. Not a big deal. You could play knight g4, g3, maybe queen h5, h4, and then just re-centralize your knight to e5. Yeah, something like that is probably reasonably good for black here.
I don't want to go to g4 with my knight, but what is he going to do? Push up one way or another?
All right, good move, Charlie.
I just undefended h7. I can scoot over, though. I can scoot over.
Yeah, h7 doesn't matter with the bishop in front of
Holy
it.
moly.
Here, e3 is hanging. Bishop e3 check is really good. Queen f4 is probably good too, huh?
Check.
Hopefully he either takes it or goes queen f4.
No, not a good tactical element.
Don't worry, Charlie's got 3 minutes. He should be thinking for a little bit here. Charlie's playing a fine pace.
Slide over here. I don't like this either.
Oh man, missed queen f4 and bishop e3. That was too bad. Those were crushing moves.
Okay. I said he was going to push up. What can I do?
It's too bad. Missed a golden chance to end the game there with queen f4. But
Go back here.
I guess
I'm down on
that's
time.
slightly hard to see.
This guy moves so fast. Holy.
The moving fast does seem to be
Everything's
a little bit
defended.
effective. It's
What is
keeping
this?
Charlie from even counting the pieces, you know.
He's gonna try to suffocate me. I gotta get out of the way. I feel like G4 is coming or something.
Don't get out of the way. Attack the guy.
So
Attack him. Rook e8. Knight d5. Attack him. If he plays g4, you have queen h3. It's just self-destruction. Just self-destruction from the opponent if they do that kind of thing.
fudge. I gotta do something. Oh, if I do this, he takes, I take, and then everything's like defended.
The rook should go one of these squares. It's on an open file, but all the points on the open file are covered.
Open, I can trade
And,
off my knight.
Charlie should be putting pressure on white's weaknesses, which are on these D and E
Is this
files.
anything bad? I don't think so.
How long is it going to take you to
I'm not
recapture?
in line with my king,
You have no
not in line with another
choices.
rook.
No choices.
Okay.
If you put your knight on e4, it's to recapture.
Oh, I don't have anything. If I...
Rook c2 is fairly good.
If he goes here, he'll just pop down there. It's useless. My time is ticking. Three, four. He's got more.
Yeah,
pawns.
he's in a little bit of time trouble now, Daster. I agree. We've got to move something. The problem seems to be 100% confidence.
See what happens when I do this.
It's going to do nothing. The king's going to come up. What do you think?
For reals?
1 minute to do nothing. You better make your next move. You can't spend 1 minute per move or you're going to flag on move 31.
My rook. How does he know I was going to go to c2, my rook, in that second? Like, that's so quick.
Well, his rook only had 1 square to go to not die.
He's a good player.
No, he's not a good player.
Everything's blocked. And
He's a
using
terrible
my
player.
time. This is amazing.
Wow, it's amazing that these absolutely garbage
rook's
moves have such a strong impact.
So I'm going to turn the tide. That's what Gandalf said. I don't cook this. Oh no, use my bishop.
Charlie's not playing worse. He's just wasting all his
do it?
time.
Oh, now I'm attacked. Holy moly.
Hey, that was actually a good move.
And then it leaves us undefended.
Wow. That was the guy's first good move of
And
the
then
game.
here comes bishop. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this was really agony for
can do
me
this.
to watch. Wow.
There's so much stuff. I can't even defend it. Yes, I can. And he's got a weak pawn now. But my bishop's... Jesus bloody.
Oh.
4 blunders, that's why, Chuck.
All right. Let's check in for a second here, Charlie. Okay.
Yes.
You thought that the guy was playing well because he was playing badly.
Really?
But he was playing sorry, you thought he was playing well because he was playing fast, right? But actually he was playing really badly. You just lost your confidence.
Oh. That's what you think?
You were up a piece in the early part of the game.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you didn't even realize it. He put his knight in the middle of the board and you took it for free. And then he left another piece hanging a couple moves later. You could have won very easily if you'd been confident.
Okay.
You were up so much material. He was just banging out random terrible moves quickly.
Were they good near the end at least?
He played 1 or 2 good moves near the end, yeah.
Okay, so he just mentally beat me somehow.
Yeah.
Then I thought I messed up because I forgot that he hung his knight. So then when I realized my bishop didn't have the knight to get, I'm like, wait,
Right.
what happened? Because I know
you'd already
that-
taken it for free. So here's the
Yeah.
thing. There's a few things. You got to be confident. Okay? The faster your opponent moves, the worse they're playing in general. So if somebody's playing really fast, their rating's 1400, the same as another 1400, right? So if somebody's playing slowly, they're probably playing better moves, but they sometimes flag. If they're playing really fast, they probably play terrible moves, but sometimes their opponents flag. Okay? So the faster he plays, logically the worse he's playing. I want you to assume that.
So did I miss an open piece?
Several.
Oh jeez.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. I have till the end of May. I'm going half backwards now.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. So number 1 is stay confident. Okay. You got so low on time because you weren't confident. You were second guessing. Like, you put your knight on e4, for example. The guy took it with his bishop, and then you have one piece that can recapture your queen, right? And you spent like 30 seconds to play, like, recapture. You don't have any other move, right? I mean, when someone takes a piece, you have to take it back. There's no 30 seconds to throw away on every single move, like going like, oh, he's so good. What's coming next? Just play your moves.
Yeah.
Just play your moves. You were absolutely killing him almost the entire game.
I wouldn't say that, but you're very
I would, though.
impressive.
But I would.
Okay.
You were killing him. You were up a piece for many, many moves. Then you could have taken a second piece, been up 2 pieces. When the guy played f4, you could just take the pawn on f4 and still checkmate him on h2 because the e pawn couldn't take back.
But you said checkmate?
Yeah.
I could have checkmated the guy?
Pretty much, yeah. If you go to move,
Why was I so
you can
mentally weak?
you can click to move. You can click to move 24 in your game if you want to.
I'm definitely going
you'll
to
see.
because I got to see this.
Look at the moment where the guy plays f4 to try and stop queen h2 mate, right?
I was seeing that there was a pin and then the pawn and all that
Right.
stuff. But
The pawn on e3 is pinned. So you could just take the
take
pawn.
with the queen.
You could just take the pawn on f4 with the queen and you're still checkmating him on
And then I
h2.
have, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
why didn't I see
The
that?
other thing you can do is e3 is attacked 3 times. You can play bishop e3 check. And then if bishop takes, queen takes,
F4?
king in the corner, knight f2, you know that
Yeah.
trick, right?
Check.
There's also rook c1 defended by the
Check.
queen. Also with back rank checkmate.
Maybe it was streaming anxiety. Who knows?
So you were absolutely killing him on the board. And in your personal narrative, you were like, oh, he's so good. He's got me. He's so fast. I don't know what to do. But you were just destroying him the whole time.
Dude, I could have checkmated him and he didn't even use a minute of his time. It
Yeah.
mentally killed me.
Yeah.
So I think, to be honest, like 100% honest, sometimes when people move fast, I get nervous that like, oh God, what's happening here?
Yes.
And then I end up convincing myself that they're possibly better or somehow better than they actually are.
Yep.
Okay.
We just saw that. And what you should think is the opposite. You know how sometimes somebody's got like 5 minutes and their opponent has 10 seconds, so they play really fast hoping the other guy will like flag, but the other guy like just checkmates them while they're playing random fast moves.
Yeah, that
Right? And you're like, oh, this guy with 5 minutes, he could have just paid attention to the game for 3 or 4 more moves and the other guy would have lost on time. But instead, he tried to just play some super fast moves and blundered everything. So, in general, if your opponents play fast, I want you to assume that they're just blundering.
Okay.
Okay? Just
I can't
assume
believe I
assume
missed
that they're playing terribly if they're playing too fast.
Well, I saw the pin. I didn't see the fact that I could just take the pawn.
Yeah. You could have taken either, right? You could play queen f4 because the pawn's pinned, or you could play bishop e3 because it's check.
Yeah, it's standard operational stuff. It's just
Yep.
I still practice like the basic checkmates just because if I don't do it, I might forget basic stuff in my mind. So
Yeah.
it's a sad world after all. But dude, the guy's yelling me in the chat, move, move, move. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. What a tool. What a tool. All right.
He looks like Santa. He could be nice.
What's that?
He looks like Santa Claus. He could be nice.
He could be nice, yeah. He's Santa Claus in a hurry.
Dude, he has to deliver a lot of presents. It might
Yeah.
be December 5th somewhere.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but still.
All right. So, let's get in there. Let's play the next game. Just focus on keeping your confidence up, okay? When you lose confidence, you play too slowly. When you have too much confidence, you can play too fast. You were definitely on the low side on confidence, so let's go to like normal confidence and sort of use a normal amount of time.
Even keel stuff?
Yep.
Okay. I'll do my best. You want me to click new 10-minute rated?
Yep.
Black again? Hyper accelerated or Nimzo or whatever.
Yeah. He's getting ready to bring out his favorite openings.
Oh, come Emmanuel, go.
Come on, Emmanuel.
Scotty,
We got
I
something ready
believe
for
in
you.
Is what he just messaged me in Discord. Okay. What? He's gonna. Oh, he's trying to do extra pawn, spicy stuff.
Yeah.
D4 is his next move, I'm guessing.
Yep. Definitely throws a wrench in the hyper accelerated.
Take. 'Cause I always take there.
All right. So you guys think Charlie's going to get his confidence back this game?
Okay. Basic principle I kind of created in my head that I do. There's only pawns up front. Good forward. You know what? That's okay. That's okay, I think. Just no, if they push, then I can take with the bishop. So I'll develop a piece instead.
Yeah, Paul, he's playing against random people, just trying to get a few more rating points. Give me that knight, says Charlie. Now, Charlie doesn't know this, but the key to this position is that this bishop is being killed by white's pawn structure. That's the key to this position, is what is black going to do or not do about the bishop on g7.
Gotta get this out first. That's what I say to you, guy.
That's what my son says to everybody, too.
So, if I go here, if he takes with pawn, I'll take with knight. If he takes a bishop, I'll take back with bishop. So I'm just going to do this.
Some calculation. Some calculation.
If I take with knight.
If you take with knight, you'll be able to castle.
That's my good knight. I don't want to take with knight. I mean my bishop.
Yeah.
Holy moly, mother of mercy.
All right.
He's attacking my bishop.
This is going to cost Charlie the pawn on c6 in a second.
Queen. Right there.
But that's
Is
okay.
he threatening anything else?
That's okay. He's at least going to get castled and his bishops will be okay.
A pawn. I'll have to move my... Actually, if he gets that, he threatens my queen. I'll grab his queen and then get his rook if he goes for my queen.
That's right. You'll be way up, Charlie, in the takes variation.
Take my pawn on c6. Take my pawn on c6.
You guys should all calculate this stuff.
Go ahead.
Charlie should keep looking at other things, though. Now that he's dealt with knight takes c6 in his head, he should think about where the queen might move. I would expect it to go to c3.
He takes my queen. I take rook.
Double checking the captures line is not bad if you're not totally sure of it.
I want you to think.
Those lines are super important. And you can often find other moves for the opponent, like knight takes on e6, attacking the bishop that defends the knight. So it's fine to spend time on it
Pawn on b2.
if you're not sure.
Yo, Bilbo.
This opponent's much better, right? Because they've stopped and they're thinking seriously on a critical moment.
His open file on b.
You'll notice that this player played a lot of moves, played a few simple moves pretty fast.
Pawn's open. So not yet.
But suddenly stopped and went into a serious think at a key moment. So this opponent's going to be a much tougher challenge than the previous one.
If for some reason I disconnect, please let me know. I always get nervous.
Will do. Okay, and this player came up with the best move here, queen c3, after a minute and a half think, right? So this is a really tough opponent. That previous opponent was just like a bank of free rating points.
Just a pawn.
Just waiting for somebody to pop it. A pinata.
He's gonna try to
A point pinata.
And if he does,
That last guy. Timothy Scott.
best thing to do
Timothy
is actually
Scott, the
try to
point
kick his
pinata.
bishop out and make him do something. And then if he does that, though, if I move my queen to c8 after.
By the way, do you guys know what Charlie should be doing here?
Why haven't I castled yet? Because I know. Let's go do this.
That's right, Steve North. And corporeal. Exactly. You say this pawn's like super done. Let's just get the king out of the
He did
center.
it with that. And then if I block my queen, he takes with his knight. Ooh. Oh, I can't even use my knight. And he oh, I suck so bad. Oh, I suck so
This player is going to destroy him here. It's a good position for white and a good player. So this is going to be... It's probably going to be a destruction coming up, folks. Just so you guys start preparing yourselves mentally for the pain. We're going to lose 2 games today, but Charlie will be back tomorrow.
I know so.
Oh! Walking to queen b7, even harder.
He's got a hanging bishop right now. Hanging bishop. If he doesn't put me in check, hanging bishop. Oh, he put me in check that way.
Take it.
I can do.
Take it. This is your first chance all game. I can't believe that Emmanuel B made a mistake. Yes, Charlie takes the piece. We're back in the game, baby.
He puts me in checkmate. No, he can't put me in checkmate.
Still hope to fight it out. Yeah, but corporeal, if white had played queen here check,
He hasn't used his
you can literally resign, right? Because it's just checkmate there, or it's queen here, queen takes, the knight can't even recapture. I mean, it's just here, it's over.
But he put me in check.
I mean, if your opponent's, 1400, I guess you play it out to mate because they might be terrible, but
Block.
you definitely know that
My
you're
queen,
losing.
I just take it. With my king.
Yep, you can block with the queen here, Charlie. Your rooks will finally see each
And
other.
then he has to move his
The
bishop,
rooks
and
will
I'm out.
finally see each other. That's called development.
Pre-move, taking it with a king.
That's called development. Come on, let's get a point. I know we don't deserve it, but let's get it anyway.
He's all pumboggled.
Yes!
He's all in for no reason. My pawns are horrible. Oh, jeez, this guy's going crazy. He's cray.
It's coming at you like a spider monkey, huh,
I'm
Charlie?
just gonna go here. Nothing can happen to me. 583 here.
Development.
Okay, he's getting his things up. What I want to do, what's more important, moving his queen. He's actually got how many places to go.
Put a rook on the file, Charlie. Good boy. Good boy. Rook on the file.
You move it, your pawn's open.
I'm hoping that Charlie's going to be able to get this at some
Pawn is
point.
free.
But honestly, what Charlie really needs to do is tuck the king on h7. I wonder if he's going to think of that. Or, like somehow this rook has to get on the other side of the king,
it's
right?
free if you
So that
need
it's
it.
covering the king instead of the king blocking it in. So you could go like this, put the rook on g8 or f8. Yeah, this rook should come out somewhere. And the king should walk over.
He doesn't know what to do.
Does it matter which rook went to b8? Not really.
Goes to a3. I plan
Not
on
too
going
much.
e7 with my bishop. No, I'll just take the pawn. Take the pawn, Chuck.
Nice, Michiko, nice.
Or is it? Yeah, no. Should I threaten it or take the pawn? That's a central pawn. I think I should take it.
Charlie's time is neck and neck right now, and I think he's saying if the queen leaves the d pawn, he's going to take it because it's an essential pawn.
That pawn's free. But I can take a central pawn. See if he goes there, nothing happens.
That's right, you're allowed to take essential pawns, Charlie. I do like tucking the king on h7, but you're allowed to take an essential pawn.
I have a free pawn here, too. I think I want a central one.
That's right. That's right. Take the central essential pawn. b2 is just whatever.
I don't want that knight.
That's right. Don't trade your bishop for the knight. Your bishop's better than that knight. You're better than that. Yeah, and
Okay,
big
my
congrats
bishop's
to
on the
Michiko crossing a barrier today. Rook b2 is decent, honestly, at this point, because then that knight's just sort of dangling out there. Yeah, rook b2 is pretty good, among other moves that are pretty good. Yeah, it's just the rook on h8. But rook b2 is really good.
If he doesn't get out now.
Oof, that's really bad because the queen was on a bad square, so it just chases the queen to a better square.
He's only got the white. He's got to retreat all the way back to his home.
Which is where he wants to be. Yes, the science is. This bishop is so much better than the knight that it does not help you to trade it. Let's see. A lot of people, I think Charlie included, find a piece like this annoying. Like, oh, it's up in my business or whatever. But it's actually badly placed. And here, this is exactly where queens should be placed.
I can.
Like this.
No, I can't. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. I need to get it there, not... How do I do this? How do I think about this? He's gonna line up his rooks and go there. So let me just...
Yeah. It's good progress, Ernst, but he wants to make 2,400, not make all... I mean, he wants to make 1,400, not almost 1,400. He wants to really get those last points. So, right now... Oh, here's an important thing for the sciences, talking about, simplifying the position. Black's advantage is not that big. If you play bad moves to simplify, you won't end up winning this game.
I just keep moving the bishop.
Yo!
Grabs the pawn. So I think it's best to move to g7 if he comes to h5. He can't take my rook because...
If white plays g4, Charlie's going to be flustered and is not going to find rook g8.
This is best defending the pawn.
Thank God the king finally moved a little bit towards the corner. So, folks, yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you guys have positions like this, you just think like, I'm up a piece, I'm winning easily. But you've got a piece against 2 pawns. That's a very minimal advantage at your level, unless you guys are GMs. At my level, I could win with this, but only because I've got the bishop pair. If I started playing moves like bishop takes knight, I wouldn't win this game myself.
Move faster, move faster, move faster.
A little bit faster, Charlie, yeah.
Move faster.
You're doing all right, but you got to go a little bit faster. But don't hang your bishop.
I'm gonna do this. Actually, I should just trade to get things off the board. I'm low on time.
Don't take on a4. Don't take on a4.
Oh, that queen's there. I can't do that.
Yes, he saw it. All right. Now, he's not going to play king h7, which is what I would want him to play. Let's see what he does. You don't have to imagine it, Thorbiddles. I've watched your games. You can just check VODs. All of you can just check VODs if you want to see my reactions when I watch your play. Maybe unpin your bishop so that you have the piece. As long as your king's on g7, you're not even up a bishop. You're just down an a pawn. Literally, folks. Think of it.
Yo, what?
Thank you. You see how often people help their opponent? Every other move, they're playing moves that help the opponent instead of hurting the opponent. It's incredible.
I'm up a pawn. He's got a...
If you're up, you should trade everything. That's correct, Scott.
He's got so many more.
But the bishop was better than the knight, and black was barely up. If you're up like 2 rooks, you can play moves like bishop takes knight.
Bishop.
But if you're up like the equivalent of 1 pawn, you can't just play terrible moves. Yeah, half the time any progress someone makes towards winning comes from their opponent, not from themselves. If not more than half. Okay, this rook needs to go attack something. Good, Charlie, good. You can win this game. It's within your power.
look, if rook go on white squares, look for white rooks going on white squares.
The queen trade is definitely good for Charlie. I can't believe that white just basically made the queen trade for him.
He's defending this. He's attacking. They might get to this file. He's defending this. He's not on things. He's not on that.
Okay, now it's time to double up
though, if I did something
on one of these.
If I line up my rooks, let me do this.
Good idea. Not as good as going through a5 because it's always nice to immobilize your opponent's pieces.
Never mind.
Don't never mind. Keep doing your thing. Double up on one of these guys. Take him. This is doing nothing. This is doing nothing. It's yours to take when you wish. Whew, thanks, cutie.
I think rook to c4 trades or takes things off the board.
Yeah, rook c4 is possible, but just doubling is going to take something. Just double and take something. Okay. This is where you really need the rook on a5. Because when white trades and you take back, then they play rook a1, and if your rook's on a5, you can play bishop c2 and win the pawn because it's immobilized, or bishop e8. That's where you have to immobilize your opponent's pieces. A nightmare scenario for me would be this. Charlie attacks the pawn without immobilizing it, and it advances. And then he doesn't know how to win any of white's pieces, right? So he can't make progress in the endgame. Yeah, Dastard, the best is like rook to a5, and then the best approach to this position would have been rook a5, right? So this can't move. And then on h4, just come here and take this pawn. It's absolutely best.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Why didn't he do it?
Okay, now Charlie can get rid of the a pawn. Thank goodness.
Okay, if I take... He can only take me with a pawn, and that actually eliminates his passed pawn. And then I can grab this pawn on this side.
Please grab one more of the guy's pawns. If you get rid of the a pawn, I will feel much less nervous.
If I grab that first, and then if he takes, then I come back here, and I don't really like that either, though. Let me just do this.
Take his stuff, Charlie.
Check me.
9 times out of 10, chess is just a game of taking stuff.
No!
Stop with the pinning your own bishop!
He can't defend it.
Your bishop's a piece! Ugh. Jesus.
Going behind. Just go behind, Charlie.
He's literally played almost his entire game without his extra piece. It has controlled 0 squares. It hasn't moved except to repin itself when the opponent unpinned it. Now, the rook's never going to win the game without the bishop or the king. Use your pieces. You have them so you can use them. Ah! Thank goodness for white. If not for white, Charlie could never win this game.
I don't need a pre-move.
If not for white.
Come between these babies.
Oh my god. White had to run their king over to the queen side, leaving all their king side pawns to be taken. Right, then f5, like, please eat this. Here, I'll take the bishop so you can finally get something for it. That bishop literally never did anything.
No, I don't want an arrow. I want to...
Yeah, no arrows. Just back rank checkmate, please. Oh my god.
Oh, I wanted to checkmate. No fair.
Please do checkmate. Don't stalemate. You will definitely checkmate if you don't stalemate. All right, folks, just tell me what happens.
Thank you. So nice.
Thank you. Thank you. My heart couldn't take 10 more seconds of that.
I honestly thought I was going to lose at one time.
I thought so too, many times.
What in the beginning. It was like, I don't know what it was.
He was playing great at first.
Did he miss any checkmates? He did? Oh, thank God.
Yeah, he missed one.
Well, I'm glad I didn't give up.
It was right on the move where he played his knight takes your pawn, and then you took the knight with your bishop. When he lost his knight. That was like his losing move, but also instead of it, he could have played his winning move.
Okay, so he just did the wrong move order and made it so I had an advantage out of it or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he gave away his knight for nothing, which he needed for that same queen b7 check he played, and you were able to block with your queen and just defend your king, but before the knight was covering that square. So he like threw away the knight for nothing, then gave the queen check, then you could deal with it. And all right.
I'm relieved I won, though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For tomorrow, I've got one piece of advice for you, Charlie.
I'm not quitting chess.
What's that?
I'm not quitting chess.
No, why would I?
I'm just kidding. It's supposed to be a joke.
I got one piece of advice for you. Don't play. Uninstall. All right. No, one piece of advice for you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we won't be able to watch the next steps in your road to 1400. You are now 2 rating points higher than you were yesterday, 2 points closer to 1400. We won't be able to see your 2 games tomorrow because we'll be doing Endgame Sensei at this time tomorrow. But
I do have the day off. Just letting you know.
You do have the day off?
The whole day off. Yeah.
Nice.
It's Eid. It's like
right.
Islamic holidays right now. So
Yeah. That's like the last day of Ramadan?
Correct.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, but one piece of advice for you is use all your pieces. Okay? In this game, you basically never used that light squared bishop on g6. It sat there and couldn't get used, and at some point your opponent gave a rook check and you brought the bishop back and got the bishop stuck so it couldn't move again.
The
So
one that I used to defend a check?
yeah, so I mean, it's fine to defend your king with the bishop when you need to. But if you have other options, try and use your bishop. So for example, you had a situation earlier in the game where the queen was opposite the bishop and your king. And in that situation, whenever you get a chance, you should move your king to the side so the bishop can move again.
Do you know what move that was?
Sure, I can find a move for you. Let's say move 27. Queen.
He did queen g4?
Queen's on g4, yeah. Of course, you need to save the bishop on d4 here. But when you get a chance in a position like this, you want to play king over to h7. Just so the bishop's allowed to move.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like when you get like a free move and you don't know what to do to improve your position, moving the king aside is going to improve that bishop, right? Let's see, you went bishop trade.
Not in the specific example because the bishop's hanging.
Right. But for example, after your bishop trade, your next move, you moved the queen, right? In this position, you're looking for a way to improve your position here, and you chose to improve the queen, right? Another thing someone could look at would be like rook c8, attacking the c-pawn. But if you go rook c8, the opponent can play rook e1 and attack your e-pawn. And your bishop can't defend it because it's stuck to the king.
Was that the correct move, by the way, taking his knight with my dark square bishop?
I would say no, but...
I couldn't honestly think... I usually want to keep my bishops because it's late game and they're better.
Yep.
But I honestly didn't know what else to do to get it rolling and get me closer to the end game.
Right. So here's the advice of what to do. After you make that trade, for example, play king h7 right there on move 28. Because now your bishop can move.
Yep.
Right? So that way, if your opponent goes like rook e1, you can always play bishop f5 as needed, right? Or if you want to play like rook g8 and bishop e4 to attack g2, your bishop can move and do that. Right? So that's the key is if you just step your king aside, then your bishop becomes a piece again. And then so like a similar or like related situation comes in, I'll give you another move to look at. Move 37. Your opponent played rook to c7 check.
Correct.
I'll move 37. Right there, you played bishop f7, and your bishop's relegated again, right?
I've gone h6.
You should go king f6.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah. You could also go to h6, but f6 is a little bit better. But the point is, you shouldn't get your bishop stuck if you've got this other option with your king, right?
That's quite helpful.
If your king has nowhere to go, sure, like defend him with the bishop, right? But if possible, you'd much rather leave your bishop alive, right? Basically, with king f6, you still have a bishop. When you played bishop f7, you didn't have a bishop. And if you play through that whole game sort of quickly, looking at nothing else, and look how much that bishop moved, you'll see that from the time you captured the opponent's knight, you basically got no use out of that bishop at any point. Your rook did all the work that game. And if you play through the game, not looking for like tactics or understanding the game, but just watching like your rooks and that bishop, you'll see your rooks do all the work, all the heavy lifting, and the bishop just kind of like sits there like absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Which means if your opponent played super good defense, you can't even win because you're just playing with a rook against a rook. Like you happen to outplay him with your rook, but you didn't use the bishop to show your advantage.
To be honest, I was glad he checked me because that's when I like that play where I traded the rook thing. That's when I knew I was going to win because I knew I was in position to get more pawns faster.
Yeah, once you got rid of that pawn with your rook on a4, I figured you were eventually going to win somehow, right? It's like he doesn't really have any counterplays left.
And I thought I did good pushing my pawns and like moving it up towards the late game. I actually sometimes think I do better when I guess when I'm confident, like you said, but also when I don't really have to think too long, because sometimes my instincts are best, and I kind of second guess myself a lot, which sometimes hurts.
Yeah, and I can see that in general, because I mean I've watched a lot of your games, but like watching your like face as you're playing and hearing some of your thoughts out loud gives me like even more, and I can see that you have a generally low confidence level while you're playing right now.
I blame that on my mother.
What's that?
My mom. I blame that on my mother.
Okay. She always told you weren't good enough?
No, she always told me that it's not nice to be. You got to be humble. You can never compliment yourself. Like she was. It's just the way she raised us. So now all of us have low self-esteem.
So you don't make other people feel bad, but you also don't have that like brash confidence to just go for your stuff.
Yeah, I guess it depends how I feel too. Like I think there's a difference between being confident and arrogant, but sometimes like I'm not confident enough. I wasn't confident in this game, like I said, until I figured out this rook thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw to just like they're all lined up for me.
Yeah.
But I really do appreciate you taking the time and everybody out there watching me in my journey.
Yeah. So we're going to miss a couple days. If you make 1,400 before we have you on next, then, we'll be happy that you made it early. But if it takes you another week or two, or till May 31st, then we'll have time to bring you on again for some more episodes of this and see how it goes. Which I would enjoy, and I think everyone else would too. But folks, feel free to tell us in the chat, if you do or don't like this segment. Did anybody make any money?
Yeah.
Probably. There was some betting going on. Somebody must have made some points.
I'm so happy I won at least one game. I don't mind losing one and winning one. I was black both times. Black doesn't faze me. I like it's the same win rate almost, I think, for me. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Cool. Thank you, Artours, for the raid. Much appreciated. We're just finishing this segment here, and then the next show is going to be Jesse is going to be on to learn about pre-moves with Lafong. We're just waiting for him to boot us. So we're just chatting for a moment till he says get out.
I wish we could have Nate Sans versus Jesse Cry in a Dojo Rival series.
Yeah.
That would be the most entertaining thing.
We're on the same wavelength with many things, Charlie, because I thought the same thing.
That'd be pretty good.
I was going to anonymously challenge each of them as if it were from the other, but like actually I just instigated it, when somebody like in school comes up to you and says like Joe said something mean about you and you're like, oh really? I'll fight him. And then they go up to Joe and they're like, Charlie said something mean about you, and Joe's like, okay, I'll fight him.
I think Mitch and Max would be great to watch.
Yeah.
The old Ultimate Sensei. I think Chess Latte versus anybody would be amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be fun to have.
What is he
Caitlin
doing?
Wood-
Freddie's got it. What is he doing versus how do you like these coconuts?
What is he doing? And then he's like,
Wait, I'm supposed to raid Lafong?
coconuts.
Wait, hang on. I'm supposed to raid Lafong? Jesse's not streaming on our stream? Or what? Well, when should I end or when should I raid? Because we're done. We're ready for Jesse and Lafong whenever we're supposed to go.
They should stream it on both sides, shouldn't they?
I thought that squad streaming or whatever it is they're doing, which I don't really understand, but I thought it was like both channels stream at the same time. But let's see. Somebody will give me instructions in a moment.
I've seen people do that before. That's what we do in sub battles every time.
Yeah.
I can't believe I lost the Nimzo. Oh well.
Does Jesse trash talk in OTB chess? I mean, if you call like having fun and like taking people's coconuts, if you call that trash talking, I suppose
can picture
so.
Jesse in the park, putting money down with like a little looking around,
Yeah.
putting money down, taking people's last, I don't know, fruits and vegetables money.
Give me your Apple money. Does he drink people's milkshakes? Sure.
I love milkshakes.
Yeah,
Fraps, you know what a frap is?
Lafong is partnered. Both channels are partnered, so I'm just.
Lafong got partnered in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if I would call Jesse's talk trash talking. He definitely talks, and it's fun.
I
But
can hear him big brain. Like, you call that a move? Like, he did the whole James Canty, that's not a move thing, probably when James Canty was not even, it's like 3 bloodlines didn't even exist. His parents didn't exist. His grandfather was born, maybe. And then it was, he probably started the whole that's not a move thing.
yeah, Daxy Poo, we all say check to the miserable king when we're playing. Check to the miserable knight? Maybe. Maybe sometimes.
I don't say check to anything but the king. Actually, I heard that in real chess on OTB, that you don't even say check out loud. Like, it's considered rude.
Yeah. I would say in like, in like an unrated, in an under 1200 section, it wouldn't be considered rude. But like if you were in the master section, like if you play bishop b5 and you say like check to Magnus or Hikaru or somebody, they'll be like,
could you do like,
shut up.
Like try to get in their head and point at the piece or something like that, or would they punch you?
Nobody's going to punch you.
I don't know. I see people get mad all the time.
All right. Jesse insists that I should raid. Nobody understands why, but I guess he knows better than all of us.
We're losing followers. We're losing subs because we're not getting
It's all right. It's all right. Jesse's got a plan, folks. Jesse's got a plan. So we're heading over to Lafong's channel. It's going to be Jesse and Lafong. It's going to be great. Charlie and I are out of here. We'll see you guys again soon.
See you, Dojo fam. I'm sure somewhere.